Apprehend God in all things, for God is in all things. Every single creature is filled with God and is a book about God. Amen. So I'm pretty sure it was about maybe 2 years ago. I got a new pair of tennis shoes. It was a banner day in my house to get a new pair of shoes because I like them to last, you know. I like them to last a long time. So getting a new one was a big deal, new pair. And I went on my usual walk and so happy, looking at my shoes, so happy that I had these new shoes. And I'm walking along and I have some coffee, and somehow or another the coffee must have spilled and it got on my shoe, and they were white. And so now every time I look down, all I could see was the stain. Right? I'd look down on my shoe, and all I could see was this coffee stain. And it felt like the longer I walked, the more things just got attracted to it and stuck on it. And I could not stop focusing on the stain. Over and over again, I just kept looking at it. And I missed everything else on the walk. All the trees, all the birds, the sky, missed it all. Because all I could see was the stain. And the more that I looked at it, and this is weird, but the more I looked at it, the bigger it got. Until pretty soon it was like I didn't even have a shoe on anymore. I just had one big stain. So life is like that sometimes, right? Isn't it? My life is like that sometimes. It's all I focus on is what's wrong with me, or what's wrong with you, or what's wrong with the world. And there are things wrong. But when I focus on them so much, like that stain, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and blocks out everything else. And then pretty soon, all I can see everywhere is just one big stain. Not much of a life when that's the only focus. Well, when at times like these, when I get in places like this, it's great and really helpful to remember people like St. Francis of Assisi. You guys know St. Francis of Assisi? I mean, not personally, but you know him? He hangs out in gardens, bird baths. That's the guy, right? And why does he hang out there? Because St. Francis, in his day and time, faced a church and faced really a lot of people who seemed to just create a whole system around focusing on stains. We live in a sinful and fallen world, and that's the only focus. And until we get the stain clean, nothing else can happen. You can't have a relationship with yourself, you can't have a relationship with each other, and you sure as heck can't have a relationship with God. Because God can't tolerate stains, right? You got to be perfect to be with God. So that was the mindset. And Francis went at it in a totally different way. Rather than just seeing the stain of the world and then somehow or another feeling like he had to transcend all that, Francis entered right into it and embraced and engaged the world, embraced and engaged himself, embraced and engaged all people the best that he could, stain and all included. And he embraced it so much that he started seeing himself related to everything that was. So he could call the sun his brother, and he could call the moon his sister. And then you heard in the hymn where we processed in, and you heard in their beautiful little, what's that thing called? hymn that they did. What was that thing called that they did? Song, that was it. The song. Well, you're hearing all that. The joy that came from that, from him. All that stuff is about St. Francis. The way he saw creation, the way he tried to see people, and the joy that came out of him because of that. Right? So he's a perfect person for me when all I can focus on is what's wrong. Because he opens me up to the fullness of life. And you know, the thing is when I get opened up like that, those stains that I can be so worried about slowly fade away anyway. Isn't that weird? When I focus on it too much, they just get bigger. But when I can focus on something else and find the beauty and the joy and the life that is within this life, those stains get smaller. So I still have those shoes. 2 years and going. And you know what? I cleaned the stain once, but they came back. You know what? That's okay.